Hey everyone, Donna Nelson, holistic empowerment coach, lifestyle strategist, and organizational well-being consultant. So I'm back today to share with you more tips, tools, and strategies for managing your stress and developing more resilience and really helping join together both your mind and your body so that you are an integrated human being instead of your mind and your body functioning separately. So today I'm sharing with you my two-step process for helping to bring your brain and your body into balance. So if you're having a hard time with kind of this monkey mind and feeling a bit chaotic and really not being able to bring your emotions back to calm yourself down, to come back to center, which is really can be difficult if you don't have the right tools to be able to, when we're spinning, feel like our mind is spinning out of control, emotionally we're spiraling, and we feel like it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So how do we bring that, allow ourselves to come back to a place of calm and feeling grounded and feeling centered and being able to do that on our own when maybe we don't have anyone to reach out to. So that's what I'm going to help you with today. So if you want to feel your best, right, as we all do, whatever that means to each of us, right, if you want to feel that high positive level of energy, you want to deliver your best, right, because often, right now, so many of the people who are working, our frontline people, they're experiencing this level of stress and chaos on a daily basis, right? Regardless of where you're working, because you're juggling many aspects of life as well as worrying about your health and well-being. So if you want to have that optimal mental and physical energy, and you want to get off of that emotional roller coaster where you feel like you're not in control of your own mind and body or what's even going on in your life, and if you're feeling like you're kind of being dragged through every situation of the day, then this is for you, right? And the one thing that you must do every day is make time for a reset, and I'm going to help you do that. So I'm going to share with you two of these techniques that I use with my clients every day. I use in practice every day because you have to do this to survive with all of the things that are going on and just our life before this life. So hopefully these things will help you. All right, so the first one is to reframe. So what do I mean by reframe? So reframing is a mindset thing. So reframing our expectations, reframing the stories that we tell ourselves. So here's how I helped someone with this earlier today. So if we go to what's the problem, right? What's the big problem that's ruminating in our mind and doesn't allow us to change our mind right now, right? So is it a money thing? Is it a person thing, right? It's a relational. Maybe somebody said something that upset us, or we keep worrying about, our money that's not coming in. If you're waiting for, something to support your small business, or you're waiting for your unemployment, or whatever, your paycheck because you just went back to work, or whatever those things are. Maybe it's something going on with your health or the health of someone else. So whatever the problem is, in order to reframe, we need to pause. And so if we take that problem, right, to use it in a visual sense, because our brain will attach to symbols and visual things easier than even trying to sort it out logically. So just to take it as a visual, right? So let's say that problem is in a box and we're just going to take it for a moment. We're going to still manage the problem, but you're going to take the problem and just sit it here. right? So sit it to the side for a moment and then come back to yourself here for a minute to bring it into the center. And ask yourself a couple of questions. Again, if you caught the last video that I did yesterday, it was on asking yourself empowering questions, because questions can empower you to be more in control, and to look within to enhance your self-awareness. So what is the problem? What is your belief about that problem, right? So we have the problem, and then we have what we believe about the problem. So I want to help you with the belief around the problem. So my story around this problem is, I'll never get out of this, or this will never get better, or whatever the story is, right? So what is the belief that you're telling yourself? So now you have that, and we know that it's negative because that's what's causing this chaos within you, right? These emotions that are draining your energy, these emotions that are making you feel bad. So whatever that belief is, we have that. So now what would you like that story to be, right? What would you like that belief to be? What would be a more positive and empowering belief about that? So if the story is, this will never get better, what would you like it to be? So you can reframe it. So that's what I mean by reframe. So if it's a story that you're telling yourself, we'll deal with that story first, right? What's your belief system? What would you like that to be? And then, so just by opening up the opportunity to create a different dialogue with that, a new possibility around it, right? A new potential outcome is going to start shifting your energy into maybe seeing new opportunities with that. So we're not doing anything with it. We're just like offering up a potential new way of looking at it, right? We're looking at what would be ideal, what we would really like it to be. And then if you look at changing your expectations, right? So we all have certain expectations. That's what causes this conflict in us many times, right? We have an expectation of how something should have been handled, or what an outcome should be, or what we expected and how someone else should have treated us, right? Whatever that is. So if you look at that expectation, and we can look at that from a place of compassion and appreciation, and even with that expectation, looking at how would I have liked to have been treated, right? What would have made me feel better in that situation, whatever I'm having the expectation around, right? So it could be a timeline, it could be the way I was treated, such as an interaction in a relationship, or any number of things, right? So what would I have liked the outcome to be? What would I have liked that engagement to have been like? And so by telling yourself that, you're starting to open up seeing it a different way, and you're shifting your energy with that. So it doesn't mean it's changing anything, right? So maybe it still happened, maybe it's still going on, but by you're doing that, you're opening up some possibilities to see it differently, to start looking at a way to start moving something forward. So we can just let those things set there for now, or you can just keep layering in another just keep asking that same question, right? So if what was the first question that I said? So how would I like to feel, or how would I have liked to have seen that different? And then you can say, and if that happens, how would I feel, right? And when I feel that way, then what could be the potential outcome? Then what would the next step be? What would be your first step if that were real, right? So you start creating a new scenario around the problem that you put over here. So the problem is still sitting here. We're not dealing with the problem yet. And reason we're not dealing with the problem yet is because we're not in the right frame of mind, and our nervous system does not have the capacity to deal with that yet because we're already full. So we want to support our brain and our thought process and our nervous system, which our brain is part of our nervous system. But when I say nervous system, I'm generally referring to that emotional aspect of and that energetic part of our body that feels wired, right? So, and then that's communicating to our brain that's creating these thoughts. But it's a feedback loop, right? So what we're thinking is dictating how we're feeling. How we're feeling is creating some thoughts based on prior experiences, right? So we want to help calm that down. So that first piece is reframe, and that's a way that you can do that to start creating a different perspective, creating a different energy, to start seeing possibilities of how you can move this forward. So the second thing is a reset. So what is a reset? So a reset is, it's like that pause button, right? That reset is when your phone is stuck and it's not working, or when I have like 42 tabs open on my Surface for like days on end, and my computer is just like, I've had it. Well, that's what your body is doing, right? You keep loading in more and more information, and nothing is getting done to completion. Nothing is purging out, right? And so now your body is just like, I'm shutting the fuck down. Like, I've had it. Right? So it's either just going to crash, right? Or it's going to explode. So for many right now, people are just exploding, right? Because we're just like, something has to purge. All right, so here's the way to not have that happen. So we need to reset. We need to reset our body. We need to reset our nervous system. We need to come back to that center and get ourselves grounded. And this is true for always, right? But especially right now, we need to do this a few times a day. If you're dealing with a chaotic home environment, like kids are there and you're responsible for homework and whatever all that is, right? And if you're also working or worried about working or whatever, right? So there's a lot of moving parts and unusual things that are providing a lot of input right now that are influencing how we're thinking, feeling, and being every day. So we need to have some reset time. And your reset time could be 2 minutes, a couple of times a day. Now, would 5 minutes or 15 minutes really be ideal? Yes. But if you're really overwhelmed and feeling burned out, 2 to 5 minutes is probably all you're going to tolerate, because your body has just been so wired. It's going to be hard to calm it down. So you can take 5 minutes, and 2 minutes of it can be in complete presence of this technique. All right, so let me show you what it is. So this, to reset, the technique that I'm going to show you is a breathwork technique. It's a heart-centered breathwork technique that has been mastered by HeartMath Institute and is research-based. They have all kinds of evidence that they've been in research they've been doing around how doing heart-centered breath work as opposed to abdominal breathing, yogic breath work is much more powerful and effective for calming your nervous system and helping to bring into balance our brain, our thoughts, and our breathing, our emotional self. So that's why I use this, because it is just super effective, and because more importantly, maybe, because yes, calming our nervous system is important, but you can do that a number of different ways with breath work, with meditation. But what those techniques are lacking is this heart-centered aspect of it, which is bringing in love, appreciation, gratitude, ultimately compassion, and this sense of joy and fulfillment. And these are the things that we really need to raise our vibrational level, so that we're feeling good about ourselves, feeling good about life, even if it's not going well, and calming down our nervous system and having our brain and our body working together in coherence, as HeartMath calls it. So I'll teach you this technique. It's super easy, but it's different. If you've done breath work and you've not done this before, it's a little different. So you're going to just do a quick body check-in. And the reason that I do this with all of my clients is because we work, we're an energetic being, we're spiritual beings, and in order for our energy to move, our nervous system needs to be relaxed. And so check in with your body. You don't want your shoulders, up here or tight. So just get yourself in a position where your body feels loose. Often people are like clenching their fists, right? Just because we're holding it, we're contracted. We're holding in all of this energy. We're creating this shield of protection around us because, well, so many of us are in a survival state right now. We feel like any moment something else is gonna happen, so we have to be like on guard, and we don't mean to be that way. These are subconscious things, unconscious things that we're doing. So check in with your body, just shake it out, get it loosened up, stop curling up your toes and like you're ready to claw something or whatever. So that now your body is prepared for the breath work. And open up your chest so that you're not, leaning in and contracted, because that's also, that's preventing this. Very often people that have panic attacks or feel anxious, it's because they're hunched over. Their body is just not even, and we do, right? I mean, it's how we function so often because, we're either over our phones or over our computer. And over time, when you're doing that day in and day out, your brain is not getting oxygen. Your lungs are not even, able to fully expand and get the blood flowing and the oxygen flowing the way that your body needs to be at an optimal level to function well, even if everything else is great. So opening up and stretching and having our shoulders back, just in itself is a good way to just start to reset. You can get that oxygen flowing good to the brain. All right, so here's how we do this heart-centered breathing technique. So you're just going to focus your attention. I close my eyes because for those of us who have attention issues, closing my eyes helps me focus my attention where it needs to be, and it just closes out a lot of the stimuli. So when our eyes are open, we have all the stimuli coming in. So closing your eyes, if you feel safe enough to do that where you are, do that, and then put your hands over your heart and draw your attention to the area around your heart. And you're going to take some breaths in, just breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. And you're breathing just a little deeper and a little slower than you normally would. You're not putting in any effort. Just taking it nice and easy. And you're going to continue with those breaths a little deeper, a little slower than usual through this whole process. Your breath is going to remain constant and consistent. And with our breath, one important aspect of this is that your breath in and your breath out are even. So what I mean by that is if it's 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, that doesn't matter. What matters is that what you're breathing in is 4 seconds and what you're breathing out is 4 seconds. That helps balance both sides of the brain and calm our nervous system at the same time. So that evenness is what's really important. Okay, so just continue doing that for several breaths before we go on to the next step, so that you can feel your own rhythm and you're not having to focus on the counting. So just get connected with that. And now you're just going to continue to focus your mind's eye in your heart area. And you're going to sense that breath flowing in and out through your heart. And once you've found that smooth, easy rhythm, feeling it flowing in and out through your heart, you're going to activate a positive emotion of gratitude, appreciation. Think of something that makes you feel good, something or someone, someplace that brings in that sense of joy and comfort and peace, appreciation. And you're holding the feeling of that positive emotion in your heart space. And you're continuing that breath a little deeper and a little slower than usual. And on every in-breath, you're breathing in that positive emotion. And you just want to anchor that in, and when your mind wanders, you come back to that feeling. You're bringing that emotion right back into your heart space. You're feeling that joy, you're feeling that comfort, you're feeling that appreciation. And the longer you hold this in your heart, the more you're anchoring that in your body. So as you continue to hold that positive emotion and is sustaining that in your heart area, as an appreciation of caring for yourself or for someone else in your life. You're holding that space, that emotion for them, or compassion and love for yourself. And this is helping to recharge and balance your entire system. And the more positive emotion you have in your heart, that's your heart energy, just like if it were a negative emotion like fear or sadness or anger. You're radiating out into your energy field, whatever those emotions are. And that's the amazing thing about the heart energy, that as you feel that positive heart energy, that you're bringing that into your being, you're able to project that out into your energy field. So while that may not serve a whole lot of people right now if you're not around a lot, but particularly if you are a parent and your kids are with you, or you're sharing home space with others, or you're going to work where it might be heavy, or where you want to bring your best every day, doing this reset by doing this breath work is helping to keep your optimal energy and your well-being at peak. You're also helping to share that with others because of how our heart energy projects out at what HeartMath has shown in their research, at least 6 feet. So what is it, the energy that you're projecting every day? Is it feeling chaotic because you're so stressed and overwhelmed and burned out? And then it's these negative vibrational energy from your heart? Or do you want to project love, appreciation, gratitude, and compassion? So when we have those positive energy emotions, then that's what we're putting out into our energy field that is supportive for others in our space too. So that's another reason why you need to do that. Why? You doing that for yourself is also empowering and supportive for others as well. So here's what's happening, just to kind of wrap that up in taking the reframe and why it's important for us to calm down our mind and to reframe. Because when we're ruminating on the same thing over and over and over again, what we're doing is strengthening those neural connections in our brain. And so if it's the same thing over and over, if we think about I'm never going to get it, I'll just use money, because we could use money, relationships, work, career, and we could use a bazillion different things, right? But just whatever the topic, that one thing is, right? So if it was money, right? Oh, I'm never going to get out of this situation. I'm just going to be broke all the time. Or I don't know how, what is going to give, right? Whatever we do to keep supporting that one thing, we keep building a bigger and bigger neural network. So while it might start out like this pea-sized problem per se, right? The more you add to that with thoughts, right? And the stories that you're telling yourself quietly inside your mind, or verbalizing outside by blabbing it on social media, or telling your friends and neighbors or whatever, now you have this like globe-sized problem of neural networks in your brain. Like literally you can see the neural networks building in your brain when they do these MRIs. So now you're building a bigger and bigger network, which is strengthening your belief system around that. So when we are reframing right, what we're doing is breaking up those neural networks, right? Because they will self-prune because you either use it or lose it, right? So you're building a different network over here of positive and empowering and a new belief system. And those networks, those negative ones, will start breaking down and become smaller and smaller over time. So that's why the reframing is important, to stop building the negative network. And then, of course, on the reset, it's important to reset your body's nervous system to calm it down so that your brain and your body can work together for you. So it can have that, what is the word? Coherence. I was going to say congruent, but it's coherence, right? So your body and your brain are integrated and in alignment with each other, right? So when our brain and our body are in alignment, then the actions that we take are going to be congruent with that and moving you forward in a positive path. All right, so that was today's lesson on what to do to help stop spiraling out of control so you can get back to your center. So I hope those two techniques were helpful. And if you need support on either one of those or something else, reach out to me. I'd love to be able to support you. All right, and if you know someone that could benefit from this, learning these two techniques, please share out this live with them so that they can learn, or just tag them in the post or something. All right. And today we have, I think, like 7 more days of this. So awesome. All right, you guys have a great night. See you soon.